What's going on YouTube? So the Lexus RZ was the first Lexus EV in their lineup, and for 2026 model year, it is getting some major upgrades. In addition to changes to the performance and range, we also have a brand new F-Sport model, which is what I'm standing next to right now. So let's go ahead and see if this is the Lexus SUV you've been waiting for. So let's get things started here with our exterior design. Now obviously up here in the front, you're going to see those signature Lexus design elements, but mixed with the electric design elements as well. So because it is a full EV, you are going to have a mostly sealed off front fascia here, although you have some ventilation for airflow down here at the bottom. Like I was saying though, this is the new F-Sport model, so this gives you a little bit more aggressive design elements overall with the refreshed design elements as well, including gloss black finish down here in the lower part, gloss black finish through here, and then you've got a little bit of border there for your signature spindle grille. Now in terms of our lighting, we've got those signature Arrowhead daytime running lights, standard full LED headlights of course with the projectors, and then also we have an illuminated logo up here in the front. Now moving to our wheels, you have some brand new designs this year. Sizes are going to range from 18 to 20 inches. This 550e F-Sport is going to get the largest wheel option. This is a 20-inch alloy. You also have these kind of aero cover inserts in between those spokes. I think it overall looks really quite nice. And if you can kind of see behind those spokes, even though they're pretty large, there are some blue brake calipers as well to add a little splash of color. Now with the F-Sport, we're getting these gloss black wheel arches to kind of spice up the design that goes along the bottom as well. And then the mirrors are also finished in gloss black. They should be fully loaded with all the features you expect from a Lexus brand as well.
Now at the side of the Lexus RZ, our overall vehicle length is 189.2 inches. That's a couple inches shorter than a Lexus RX, for instance, and of course that's not going to change this model year. Now as far as some of the design touches, we have our cool door handles, blacked out window surrounds, and then this piece is going to be fully blacked out going into the rear. It's a very sleek looking SUV overall. Now, let's go ahead and check out the rear design as well. You will notice some really unique design touches, and some of those are exclusive here to the F-Sport variant. So up here at the top, you kind of have a little bit of a wing spoiler on each of the ends. That's an interesting look. And then our window is going to be raked back at a very sloped angle, so you don't actually have a rear window wiper. But what's new for the F-Sport? That's going to be this spoiler here on the deck lid. That gives you a little bit of a sportier overall design characteristic, and it is going to be finished in gloss black. Now, as far as the taillights themselves, it's going to be the Lexus full-length design going through here. It's going to be a full LED unit with your brake light, your turn signal, and your LED reverse light. All of our license plate lighting is also LED. And then dropping down to the lower fascia, it's a full electric vehicle, of course. So all of this is going to be a gloss black finish and no exposed exhaust outlets. Now I do also want to point out they are offering a new wind color for the RZ F-Sport variant, which is a cool addition to the lineup. And as far as your safety systems are concerned, you're going to have their Safety Suite 3.0, so it's not quite their latest and greatest, which debuts on the Lexus ES, but it will have all of your active safety features as standard equipment. But guys, there's a really cool cabin that we can't wait to show you. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We started young, and since then we've reviewed over 2,000 cars at every price point.
And if you want to know about all the latest and greatest rides, then make sure to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the newest cars. All right, now let's move on to the interior. First, of course, here's our key fob. It's your typical Lexus key fob, nothing too complicated here with your standard smart entry system. Getting inside, you're just going to reach behind the handle. There's a pad and just pinch it like so. Now, let's take a look inside with the interior here. So just like with the outside, there's definitely going to be some subtle design and feature tweaks versus what it was in the 2025 model year. One of those things is right here with our seats. So like I said, this is our new F Sport model, and because of that, we've got these really aggressive bolstered sport seats, These also have some exclusive materials, so we've got the suede inserts that run down the sides of the bolsters, and also the blue stitching that you see throughout the seat, especially up here by the headrest, that is exclusive to the F Sport model. As far as the seats themselves, we've got, looks like 10 ways of power adjustment with 2-way lumbar support. You also have memory seats as well, located right there next to the steering wheel. And we'll go ahead and climb inside. And as I shut up the door here, let's look at the rest of the cabin materials. Over here in our door trim, we've got a leatherette. We also have a big old piece of suede that runs all through here on the F Sport model. Just like before, Lexus uses illumination as kind of the trim decoration in this model. So you'll notice that when I do that, we've got a projection that actually puts a pattern up here through the suede. Now we have soft touch plastic along the top here. Through the center, we've got kind of a textured plastic. Some more of that textured plastic through here, which kind of looks like aluminum. Nice finish to that shift knob. And then, of course, your power button is located right up there at the top. Now, this is a prototype model, so I can't fire up the vehicle itself, but we can go ahead and kind of tour through some of the various features, including our gauge cluster. So for the gauge cluster, Lexus says you'll have a standard 12.3-inch display on all models. Again, this is a prototype, so obviously you can see what I'm seeing. It doesn't look like it's 12.3 inches, but I'm assuming that that will be adjusted for the production model. We also do have a head-up display up there at the top. And then as we pull back to the steering wheel, you'll see some more exclusive F Sport touches, including the badging, the blue stitch details that run through the inside edge. Of course, it's leather wrapped, and it is also power tilt and telescoping. Taking a look at some interior storage. Nice size center console here. Obviously, we're on a time crunch today, but we'll look forward to doing the donut test as soon as we can. It continues to open from two sides, by the way, and you've got your two cup holders. Nice wireless phone charging pad up there at the top. And then, of course, we've got a very large pass-through here. So this is really a little bit narrow, but super long. It actually goes from the very front there all the way back here where my hand is. So that's really nice. As far as the shifter is concerned, you have the rotary style shifter. So you just twist over D for drive. Twist the opposite way for reverse, of course. This is going to have the availability of a 360-degree camera system. And then we'll talk about this a little bit later when we go through the powertrain options, but this is a brand new thing for the RZ. It's the M mode, and this is a faux manual shift that you can get here on the 550e F Sport. Up above, we got some physical buttons there for your camera system. We also have a large 14-inch display. So visually, the display itself is going to be pretty much the same as what it was before, but what you can't see is that this is running a new Lexus software. So this new infotainment system is supposed to be more responsive and also have some additional functions such as a omnipresent home button. The climate controls will be inside of the screen itself. You also have the volume knob kind of implanted in there, and that will control a Mark Levinson sound system. And lastly, with the front of the cabin, we've got an auto-dimming mirror. This is also a digital camera rear view mirror, and you have HomeLink universal remotes. Up top, you'll find a really nice looking panoramic sunroof. It's kind of in two different parts. It is a fixed glass roof and there's no sunshade, but this does also have the ability to change its level of transparency, and Lexus says they've improved this functionality for 2026.
All right, and let's go ahead and talk about the RZ's rear seat as well. This area is not going to change for the refreshed model, so it's just going to be your signature RZ, which means that you have about 37.5 inches of legroom and about 39 inches of headroom. The headroom is actually quite good for an electric SUV like this with a very sloped-off design. Of course, we brought the official Car Confections ruler along with us, so we can see how much knee room you can expect. The seat is adjusted to Drew, who is 5'8", I'm 5'9", and we're sitting at about 8.5 inches of additional knee room. My feet can slide up underneath of the seat, and these seats do include two cup holders as a center armrest, and then here in the center section we have our rear vents, two USB ports, and we have the available heated back seats. Down in the very bottom, we do have a household outlet as well. And then as far as the door trim is concerned, it's going to mostly be that same kind of Alcantara material with some lighting to make it seem a little bit more premium, and bottle storage down in the bottom. Now walking up to the cargo area, let's go ahead and check that out. We do have a power tailgate as expected. And then as far as the space is concerned back here, we're sitting at about 23 cubic feet of space behind the second row of seats. If we fold those seats down, we're looking at about 56 cubic feet as a maximum. Those are pretty decent figures. It's actually very similar to something like the Lexus RX because that is on the smaller end for its segment. The seats do fold 60-40 split. We also have a cargo cover integrated up top, and we have a household outlet here on the left side. If you lift up the floor, you do have additional space up underneath of here as well. I do apologize, we would get our ruler out and do all the measuring, but we are on a very tight time frame.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the powertrain options. Now, obviously, I'm no longer inside here. Due to the limited time frame we had with this model, we decided to just go ahead and step out and film in a park to talk to you guys about the powertrain options. So the new RZ is now available in 350e, 450e, and 550e variants. But we do have a new battery pack with some improvements really across the entire range. So the battery is now a 75 kilowatt hour lithium ion on the 350 and the 450, and then 77 kilowatt hours on the 550. So just a little bit of a bump. Horsepower numbers, we'll display those kind of on the screen right now. They are going to vary on each one of those, but the 550e F Sport we've been looking at today, 402 horsepower, and that one is going to be able to give you a 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds. So definitely the fastest RZ that they've ever made, and starting to get, you know, competitive-ish numbers with like a Tesla Model Y performance. This also does have the new M mode. So what this is a virtual manual shift. We look forward to actually testing this out and to see how it's implemented, but in the other models that have had this, such as the Hyundai Ioniq 5N, it's actually quite fun. So we'll see how it is implemented with the RZ in the future when we go for a full drive. Let's talk about range figures next. Of course, that's very important. Your best option is going to be the base model, which is front-wheel drive. That gives you 300 miles of range, which is an improvement over what it was before with 18-inch wheels. 260 is going to be your 450e option, and then your 550e is 225 miles. Now, obviously, that's not a huge number, but I do want to point out that previously, even before we had the high-powered version, this vehicle was rated at under 200 miles of range, so this is quite a step forward to give you the additional performance and also the bump in range.
And let's discuss pricing and availability. Now, Lexus says this will be on sale later in 2025, so you're not going to have to wait too much longer if you want to pick up one of these refreshed Lexus RZs or this new F Sport variant. As far as the pricing is concerned, Lexus says they'll release that closer to its on sale date, but we're going to go ahead and estimate for you. Right now, we start at around $44,000. I expect a little bit of an increase to about $45,000 for the base model. And then for this new 550e variant, I'd say maybe $64,000 might be a good base price estimate. Now, if you're looking to buy a Lexus RZ or any new vehicle, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. The reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. Once more, you can find that in our video description, and we also have a pinned comment at the top of this video. And guys, that's going to wrap up our in-depth first look review of the new Lexus RZ 550e F Sport. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decision, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to get the latest car reviews such as this, and you're also going to be a part of our Car Confections family. We'd love to welcome you in. If you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.